Welcome to RGBA, colorful tech news and reviews. This is episode 59. My name is Alexandre Valliere-Lagacé, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tari Ménard.
So we start off this week with a bit of Apple TV news because we don't have any Apple TV news ever. So a user, I think it's in the UK, he started seeing movies appearing in 4K and HDR in iTunes. So the rumor mill is starting to come up saying, oh, we're going to have an Apple TV with 4K soon. So I'm guessing maybe in August, not in August, sorry, in October with the new iPhone.
Yeah, probably, or maybe September.
Yeah,
might have the event, and the iPhone is launched next month, but the Apple TV is available today.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the same form factor, the same thing, just with the 4K, like they did with the 720 to 1080p there with the old generation.
Yeah, it should probably be just a very simple upgrade.
Just a basic
CPU,
spec bump.
Yeah, and HDMI ports and stuff, and yeah. Worst case is I have one like still wrapped in the box. By the time I get my TV, probably the new one will come out, so I'll have to sell it somehow.
You have a new one that you never opened?
Yeah, I got it for Father's Day, and because it was like a promotion or something, you get like $30 like gift card or whatever. So my wife got me that Apple TV for our basement setup, and since the basement setup is not complete, we're still missing a couch, we're still missing a table, still missing a TV. Well, it's just there on the furniture waiting to be opened. So yeah, probably by the time I get my TV, there will be a new Apple TV out. So I'll have to swap it up. So after that, we saw a fun little video. But is it like an ad? Is it like real trailer? What is it?
It's 3 minutes 45. So it's like a short movie, a short clip.
Yeah, but it looks like an ad for a movie or something.
Like an ad, but I guess that maybe they're going to come up with a little 1 minute or maybe a 30-second like shorter TV commercial. I don't know.
Oh, maybe like the Old Spice commercial. That would be perfect. You see The Rock and Siri and doing little sketches that are 30 seconds or 1 minute long, and they make like 25 of those over the next year. That would be nice.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it if they're not going to put it on TV well, they already have 12 million views on YouTube, so I guess it got out there, but even.
Yeah, but The Rock is colorful, so that's why.
So the video is basically The Rock is using Siri throughout the day to go through his bucket list or something like that, because somebody tells him he's not working hard enough or he's not doing enough stuff. So he goes through a bunch of bucket list items, and all through the day he's talking to Siri, and she's doing research and telling him what's next on the map, and he's booking flights and booking Lyft rides, and so it's all done through Siri.
Nice. No Uber, just Lyft?
No, just Lyft.
I wonder why.
And then there's also like a follow-up video of MKBHD that says that tested to see if Siri can actually do everything that Siri's doing in the ad with The Rock. And I think
okay.
Did you see it?
No, not yet. It's in my watch later list.
Okay, but there's a lot of stuff that MKBHD can't replicate because he doesn't use the iPhone daily. So he's like, the answer Siri gives him is, we can't check your mail because you have no mail account or stuff like that. No reminders in the reminders app. So there's a bunch of stuff that can't do, but technically everything can be done as it's done in the commercial.
Okay. Nice.
Except for, I think they have this little text at the end of the commercial saying, it's been shortened. Like the interactions with Siri are like really, really fast compared to what you get in real life.
Yeah, they cut around the corners just to make it livelier, if you want.
Right. There's no waiting. You don't see the little logo spinning or nothing.
All right. moving on to a profile on Johnny Ive and Apple Park. This was a pretty interesting piece. Basically, Christina Passariello went to the Apple new headquarters and met with Johnny Ive and discussed the design and the way that they approach this project. Like everything started with Steve Jobs before his passing, and then Johnny Ive took over, and he basically is crazy about like every little detail, as he should be, even like the door handles and everything. The chairs in the lobby are like 4,000 euros chair from this specific designer from Europe, and it's pretty crazy. On the negative side, though, we learned that there's a bunch of design decisions that will affect the daily lives of developers working there. Basically, the first one is that most of the offices are in open space, whereas previous Apple offices are mostly like cubicles or rooms with doors. So this is nice looking for pictures of offices. But over the last couple of years, it's been raised that the open space office are not good for productivity, and they're actually a problem more than anything else. So there's a bunch of developers from Apple that are like not complaining, but they are probably like scared,
not too eager to move.
Yeah, exactly. And also, most of the like designers, architects over there, they basically use whiteboards to sketch stuff and to design interactions and everything. But now, all the conference room are like walls of glass. So all you have is the door itself to be a whiteboard. So imagine this little like 2x6 like rectangle. That's all you have. So that's not pretty good for sketching up designs and stories and everything. So
the article is behind a paywall, right?
Well, there's a version from Twitter. If you look at the Twitter link and you click it, you can get it without any paywall. So
okay, because I know I've seen it, but then I'm trying to click the link we have here in the show notes and it's not working.
Yeah, let me find one.
When are they supposed to start moving into the offices, or have they already started moving into?
I think it should be very, very soon, if not already.
Okay, yes, this one works.
Yeah, this one's much better. It'll be in the show notes. So yeah, it's a pretty intense project. It's the most complex product they ever built. I think the budget is $5 billion for construction and everything. So it's a quite particular in terms of project. And we also learn like little informations here and there. Like, for example, that Johnny Ives influenced J.J. Abrams asking to see like a beat up and rougher spark spitting lightsaber in Star Wars. So that was the inspiration for Kylo Ren's T-shaped lightsaber. And vice versa, he was inspired by the stormtroopers to make the AirPods. So
wait, Johnny influenced J.J. Abrams for Kylo Ren's lights. What?
Yep. When working with Star Wars, I've mentioned that he, quote, would love to see a lightsaber that is rougher, spitting sparks.
Okay.
End quote. And then after that, they discussed it, and he basically made it.
So he's a nerd just like us.
Of course.
He's one of us.
He's one of us.
In his white room.
In his white room with his blue shirt and his gray pants. Hey, that's also one thing that I'm thinking this article was probably written over a couple of visits, because the author says that he doesn't have like a strict like uniform like Steve Jobs had, but he's basically usually has like a colored shirt and white or beige pants, but it's always like the same types of hues. So it's not a uniform per se, but it's close to be.
He respects a design guideline.
Exactly. Well said. That's a nice title too. So yeah, from the outside, the latest drone shots that we saw from the Apple Park is it's basically done from outside. So I'm guessing they're finishing up the interior, and they don't need to finish it all before people move in. So as long as they do it like in a linear fashion and like this part of the pie is done, people can go in and start to move in. So that's nice. We also saw that they have standing desks, so that's pretty cool. Don't know exactly what model they are, but I'm sure that as soon as people will start to go in, we'll start to see names of exactly which furniture items are being used. So yesterday was a big day for Tesla. They released and delivered the first 30 cars for the Model 3. So they had a big event, as they usually do for new car launches. They invite the first buyers to California. They make a big show of this, like a big reveal, and then you saw the 30 cars were parked in the diagonal lines right next to superchargers. So that's what they did. Elon Musk was very, very, very emotional. He almost cried at one point. He was so proud that like everybody bought the Model X, and the Model S was like the reason for the Model 3 to exist. And he was super happy about that. The first 30 cars are for customers. The next 20, which will be this month also, will be for design verification testing, whatever. Hopefully they don't find anything major, because with Apple iPhones, usually it's design verification model comes out like a couple months before the production unit. So hopefully they don't mess up over there.
How does that work? How can they ship cars to customer and then they say we're going to do our like in-house testing after?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm sure they had to get them like approved for the
but they probably are approving everything. It's just that I'm guessing that the first 30 cars are the first 30 cars that come off the production line, and then they have to check if there's any assembly problems.
What?
No, I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're going to call back the 30 cars like, oh, we found out this and this and this is not quite up to par. So bring back your car and we'll tape it up together.
Yeah, well, Tesla is kind of good for that. Like whoever has a Tesla and had problems with it, usually you just go to the Tesla store and you can get like parts replaced for free, because they just want like to be happy, and also not think that their car are badly assembled. But I would be pretty scared to be the first one to get a Tesla Model 3 off the assembly line like that. It's I don't know. It would be scary. And then after that, this week also he posted a video on Instagram. Elon Musk, he showed his boring elevator from the Boring Company, which is basically the underground tunnel system where you from the ground go to a special elevator where your car is brought below the ground and put into a high-speed highway that's just for Teslas. So then you can go like super fast from one end of the city to the other, and you just, I guess it's all automatic. You just probably in your Tesla say, okay, you go on the platform, the car detects the platform, and then you say, I want to go out at this exit, and it just does it for you, self-drive and everything. So the elevator works, so that's good. First step.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, click the link. It's like 30 seconds. It's super small.
Okay, the car goes down.
Yeah, that's it. It's not very special, but still, it's baby steps.
So Adobe came out with a press release or news release or blog post on their blog, basically saying that Flash is done and it's going to be supported, I think, through the end of 2020. And they really encourage people to not use it anymore. I think they already talked about that a couple of months back, but this just makes it official and putting an end date, end of 2020 on it.
Yeah, so basically, unless there's like major security flaws or something, they basically will not put any engineering effort on it from now on. And of course, as things are with these types of products, you should also move away from it ASAP, because now is the time where hackers will try to find the most bug possible, because they know that there's not many effort behind it. And you'll probably find a couple of 0 days in the coming months, which will be able to use Flash as an exploit. So yeah, please move away from that.
It's kind of funny too that when the iPhone came out, people were poo-pooing it, saying it didn't run Flash, and then 10 years later, we don't even have Flash.
But
We
even
still don't have Flash, and we're never gonna have Flash because Flash is dead.
yeah, and even Android, they started to remove it a couple of years ago. It wasn't installed by default anymore, and if you wanted, really, you had to like install it yourself, and there were like complicated steps and everything. So yeah, it was not the best thing, and in the end, the toss about Flash from Steve Jobs basically materialized, if you want. He was right, and now everybody is doing the same thing.
So rest in peace, Flash.
Yeah, rest in peace. You were cool in the 90s, but not anymore.
You have to have nice little animations on your website.
Oh, yeah, of course. So for all of you who follow Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies and stuff, there was something quite special. We already discussed a couple of episodes ago the way that somebody like made a buy order to buy a bunch of Ethereum coins if ever it dropped to like 12 cents or whatever. And he basically exploited the system like that and was able to make tons of money. But this week, something else happened with the Ethereum, and this one is actually pretty nasty. Somebody discovered like a real flaw in the system, like cryptographically an error that could basically tell the system to wire all the coins from wallets to your wallet. So kind of like, imagine like if you were going to the bank and saying, okay, this and this account, they're not mine, but here's an order, take all their funds and wire them to my account. But being cryptocurrency, once stuff is done, cannot be undone. Basically, because the whole system is based on validating transactions, and that's what you do with your computer CPU and processing power, is you validate transaction and you make sure that the whole integrity of the system is valid. But because of this little hack there, the guy was able to steal about $30 million worth of Ethereum coins from a couple of very big wallets. And then when people discovered that, they started to panic, and like there's a bunch of hackers, which are white hat hackers, which are basically like good guys. They tried to understand the problem, and when they realized what the problem was, they couldn't do anything about it because it was in the algorithm itself. So what they did is that they did the exact same thing as the black hat hacker. Basically, they stole $130 million worth of Ethereum coins just to, once the fix is done, to resend them back to their respectful owners. So they basically did the same thing that the hacker did, but to protect the money from those big wallets, basically.
With the Robin Hood perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So they really did steal from them, and then once everything was calmed down, they wired back the money. So at one point, there was 1, 2, or 3, or I don't know how many there were, hackers which had in their hands $130 million, and they just waited, and then they sent it back. So that's pretty impressive. If you want to see exactly the details on how this occurred, there's a security developer who did a nice blog post that exactly explains like which transaction was a problem and how he managed to mix up the signatures and everything to allow himself to receive funds from other accounts without their explicit permission. So pretty interesting stuff. Scary for Ethereum if you have some, or if you're trying to mine some, because it kind of shows that this cryptocurrency is not super safe, the way that it's designed. So maybe the value will go down if many more of those things happened. But yeah, very nice stuff. Moving on to something that's probably closer to us and will probably affect us more than cryptocurrencies, is that the USB 3.2 standard was announced. Thankfully, it's backward compatible with 3.1s and all the cables and everything. So when they made the cables and the ports, it was already like compatible with a draft spec, I would say. which would basically add an extra lane to your existing USB 3.1 spec. So if you already have a USB 3.0, which is basically 10 gigabits per lane, then you get two 10 gigabits lane for 20 gigabits. So that's pretty nice. If you already had 20 gigabits lane, you can have 40. So it's everything you have basically right now will be able to be double the speed. So as long as the devices and the bus and the computer supports it, you should get a nice little performance boost for those devices.
It just continues on the USB-C mess, if you ask me. Like with the Thunderbolt, the USB 3.0, 3.0, 3.0, 3.1. They're all the same, but they're all different.
And they use USB-C as the connector.
Yeah, they all use the same connector, but there's a bunch of different protocols and a bunch of different cables that don't do this and don't do that.
Yeah.
It's going to be complicated.
Thank God it's named Universal.
Yeah, universal. It makes it all like even.
Yeah, it's universally cumbersome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but I hope they come up with, or just people start using just one of these protocols, or one of these protocols, you call them, or
I think it's specs, so it's standard.
Yeah,
so
like standard, like just pick one and use this connector for one.
Yeah, but they kind of did with the existing 3.1 spec, like you have in your MacBook Pro and stuff. But then now there's a 2.2, so people will say, okay, so from now on everything will be 2.2. At least the cable don't change. So whatever USB-C cable you had right now, which was allowing you to get like your 87 watts of power in the biggest MacBook Pro, you would still be able to use it for the charging, transfer, everything. All that will be fine, except you'll get double the speed. But then I'm already expecting like a USB 3.3 standard, like coming up like maybe in a year. So my problem with that is that they release one of those every year. And eventually, maybe not this time. This time doesn't seem to be such a big problem. But eventually there'll be some kind of standard that's going to break. And you like the HDMI cables. Like you basically have some that are 4K compatible, some that are like 4K but not HDR. So you'll be able to get your cable. Your cable will be USB-C. Okay, fine. It plugs in your computer, but you don't have like the 6 lanes you need to be USB 3.3. So okay, well then it doesn't work with my Mac, but it works with my MacBook, and so it's just a big mess. It will be an even bigger mess in the future.
Let's just hope it fixes, but it won't. But let's just hope anyways.
Yeah, well. USB-C tries to go fast, and I don't understand why they need to release new standards like every year like that. They should spread them out a bit, so at least like the adoption rate goes up. Because right now, even the latest Surface from Microsoft, they basically still have USB-A ports. So until everybody moved to the USB-C, I would say keep it like that and make a special. If you want to make like a new standard, like a new speed or something, I kind of even preferred it to be like different color or different like make it like break compatibility, but like directly. So people know, okay, if I get like this blue cable, I know that it's super speed. But if I get this gray cable, I know it's regular speed. So at least people have a visual reference. Right now, it's all in the internals, and you don't see it, and they kind of do it like so people don't get like irritated by the format change, but one day it's gonna come and bite you back in the ass.
Okay, and thank you. Did you ever use the unarchiver?
Of course,
Mac? It's like this classic first thing everybody used to download.
Yeah, like WinZip for Windows is the equivalent,
or 7-zip for Windows, whatever.
Even WinZip better.
So MacPa acquired them. And then I think there was a big rush. Everybody was scared that they would make it not free anymore, like payable. What am I trying to say here?
Paid software.
Just make it
paid for software.
Yeah, just a paid. But no, they're going to keep it free. It might be included in the MacPa like setup app thing they have going.
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah, most probably.
I think we already talked about that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically,
go ahead.
Subscription. So you pay $9 a month, and you get access to a bunch of apps. So it gives you I think there's like 40 now or something. They're starting to have a lot, but they have a lot of popular ones like Clean My Mac, Paw, the what's Paw? How do you describe Paw?
What's PAW? I don't know what's PAW. Oh, the API
API tester.
testing. Yeah,
Testing
API
app,
testing. Yeah, suite. Yeah. Yeah, they have Gemini. iStat menu is also a big name. This
Yeah,
drill.
iStat menu.
Of course, they have all their apps. So, like Clean Your Mac and stuff like that is already in there. But yeah, I don't know how many there are now. All apps. Just check that out. They don't have a number, but yeah, it's easily. Oh yeah, it's more like 70 apps now, I would say.
Right. So you get all that for $9 a month, and
Yeah.
if you use a bunch, it's a good deal. And then it lets you like test if you want, so you can see, oh, I really like this app, so I'll just go buy it outright.
Yeah, depending on your usage. Like for example, for me, most of what I would use in that list of apps, I already own them. So it makes no sense for me to pay another $10 a month. That's why I was part of the beta. And as soon as they started to charge for it, I said, let me try not to use it, see what happens. And I basically did not notice. So, because all those apps, I already had them. So when they said, okay, you have to pay for it, I said, yeah, but I already have my license. So uninstall setup and reinstall whatever app I needed. So
And they
there's,
have a 30-day no credit card trial that you can try.
yeah. The idea is super nice. But like, let's just go run down to a few of those. Like Clean My Mic, I already have it. iStat, I already have it. What else would I use? I know that MacPa, yeah, I already have it. Focused, I used that app for writing Markdown for a while. Now I don't anymore. Dropshare, I already have my own license. Yeah, just quickly, yeah, that's just basically the first couple ones I use. Like you said, Paw. There's expressions for regular expression. I have something similar already. So like for everything that they're offering, Trip Mode, I already have my own license.
Yeah, Trip Mode is new though. They just joined.
Yeah. So basically, I don't see the need for me for right now. If you don't have any of those apps I mentioned, or if you look at the list, we'll add the link in the show notes right away. If you have like a need for one, I mean, let's say at least 3 of those, it's worth it. That $10 a month can really get you a long way, because most of these apps are like $30 to $50. So by using 3 of those, you can do the whole year. So if you plan on using more and maybe exploring the offering and trying more apps and changing your workflows and adding tools, then at the number of apps that there is and at the rate that they add more, if you still pay $10 a month for 2 or 3 years, you would still be winning in the long run. So, but if you only have like a very, very small set of apps and you don't see the need to add more, you might be better off just buying a direct license from the developer directly.
So that company, they just bought the Unarchiver, and they're still going to make it free.
Yeah, and they're going to probably add it
basic,
also to Setup. So Setup will now maybe start offering apps that are actually cheap, well, free, and just easier to install, because you have your mini app store directly inside Setup. I wonder if one day it's going to come to that, like to become a full-fledged app store.
Basically already is.
Yeah, but for now it's you pay once and you download whatever you want. But eventually you might have special apps that you have to pay for those, like Setup Premium or something. And per app you can buy like $4, $5, whatever. So could be a way to make a new app store that's better and that's maybe evolving faster with trials and everything. Or maybe we'll learn that like in less than a year, they will be Sherlocked by Apple offering trials on the App Store, and the rest will be history. Talking about history, Apple pushed some more products into history. They removed the iPod Nano and the iPod Shuffle from sale. I wrote a post on Hipster Pixel about that this week. They were already like in the accessory sections, like right next to cables and stuff. So they didn't have any primetime spot as they had before. They still have a couple of them on tables, but it was like in a corner, like right next to the colored Beats headphones and matching iPod Touch. So you could have like maybe one shuffle and one iPod Nano, and that was basically it. So now Apple decided that they were actually done for it, and no more iPod Nano, no more iPod Shuffle, and the iPod Touch is now offered in, is it 32 gigs and 128 gigs capacity, and for the same price?
The iPod Touch is next on the chopping block.
Oh, you think?
It's next in line.
Not sure about that, because it shares so many components and so many, and the whole software ecosystem is the same as the iPhone, so it can live on for a long time before being killed.
Behind.
I know, there's something else. That's the Apple of last year, where upgrading their devices regularly was not in their best interest, I would say, according to them. But now I think that this year they learned that people expect upgrades and people expect them to be behind their products. So there's still stuff to be done for the iPod Touch, in my opinion. The one that might be killed is the Mac Mini, because this one is more than 1,000 years old.
1,000 days, not
yeah,
years.
yeah, 1,000 days old since the last refresh. So that's more than almost 3 years. So yeah, that one needs some love, and seriously needs some love. The iPod Touch is the iPhone 5 processor, no 6 processor, iPhone 6 processor. So it's not that far back.
It's the iPhone 5 form factor.
Yeah, iPhone 5 form factor, but the iPhone 6 CPU. So it's still good enough. My daughter has one, and it's pretty fast and does all the Snapchat things properly. So that's good. Yeah.
It has the old home button.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the one that clicks a lot.
Yeah.
No Touch ID, nothing. So moving on to Apps Corner, you have a little app for us this week.
Yeah, it's called Couchy. I used to use an old app for tracking TV shows and all that, but then I think it's Federico Ritici that was talking about it on Twitter, and he basically said it was the best TV tracking app. So I tried it out, and he's correct. It's very nice. It has a lot more features than the old one I used to use. It also syncs with Track TV, TARK there, the weird Track TV. It also links to Infuse, so I can have all my episode tracked with where I'm at in the actual season and which episode and so on. So that's very interesting. And other than that, it's just your basic. It gives you a schedule, a calendar to see what's playing when, and you can. I find it maybe a bit better to like discover new shows. Because when you're on a show, it gives you suggestions of shows you might like, considering you like this one. So that might be a new thing, find new TV shows, because that's all we listen to now. But other than that, it's a great app. I think it's $3.50 Canadian on the App Store. So try it out.
Great. Yeah, I already use Infuse for many years, and it's linked to my Tracked account. So that's cool because I can easily switch to Couchy and see, instead of, let's say, episode calendar or some other service like that, to be able to see my TV consuming, and if some other season of one show I was once watching has started and I wasn't aware of it. So
yeah, I use it especially for that, to see when it's starting again, not from the week to week there. I can remember that Tuesday night is this show and Wednesday night is this show. It's more to see when the next season is coming up. All right,
cool. So no reviews this week. Super busy week at work, and got a few more things. I even got like a pretty nice standing desk, so this will be coming in a future show.
I can't wait to hear that, because I'd like to get one too.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for this week. This was RGBA number 59. You can find the show notes at rgba.fm/59, or from now on, you can just do RGBAfm/latest, and you'll get the latest show every time. So that's it. We are on Twitter at _RGBA. I'm on Twitter at at Valia, VALLIERES.
I'm Tyler Menard at Tyler Menard on Twitter, and Tyler Menard everywhere.
Perfect. All right, so have a nice week.
Have a nice week.